Yo, Tavi here, and when I finally managed to hit max tier with Power 1 Gold in the last episode, it finally meant that it was time to push the next brawler to 1000 trophies. This time it will be Larry and Lawrie, which are two unique brawlers combined into one. Why exactly them? Because on this free-to-play account my goal is to push every single brawler to max tier in the exact order I unlock them. And Larry and Lawrie will be the 15th max tier I will push. On day 178 when I logged in, I managed to get 4th place in Angels vs Demons contest, which meant I got 9 demonic star drops to open. Out of them I actually managed to get tier 3 demonic star drop, which could unlock me a lot of things. New HP charges, star powers, new brawlers, HP charge skins and also other skins. And out of all of that I managed to get Impy Colette, which is a nice skin, but I will still buy the Paulette skin. They made one, so it doesn't really matter. Still pretty cool skin. We'll use it. After that, as always, I decided to start pushing Larry and Lawrie at first with you, the viewers. Since Harvey didn't have a brawler below 100 trophies, it meant that instead of playing against really boring bots who barely can play the game, we are matched up against real players. This made the start way more interesting than usual because, well, we were not playing against bots. Thanks to my maxed out Larry and Lawrie, the enemies were not able to do absolutely anything. I was just shredding them, and because of that, the best thing they could do was just hide in their spawn, which I found to be pretty funny. Either way, maxed out brawler was more than enough to reach 100 trophies, and losing was literally impossible. The Brawl Ball map was kind of weird, because even though it had quite a lot of walls, I still got taken out pretty often thanks to really aggressive players. This is where the Larry and Lawrie super becomes really handy. I can just place it below me and I can actually take out players whose only goal in life is to just defeat me. Because in most matches what it felt like, players were way too focused on getting kills instead of actually playing the game. We kept winning. And after having a 17 win streak, we managed to also hit 200 trophies, which, do not get me wrong, is not impressive. In my opinion, this was still quite far away from actual real matches, where everyone would be way smarter. Matchmaking at 200 plus trophies basically stayed the same, and by same I mean players not knowing how to actually play the game. For example, this Genji could have taken the ball and not allowed us to score, but he didn't. Maybe it was his first time trying out Genji, but who knows. After getting 25 win streak and thanks to my viewers, reaching 300 trophies turned out to be quite easy. At 300 trophies the matchmaking got a tiny bit better, the enemies this time actually knew how to fight back. There have been few moments where the enemies were quite close to scoring, but right when they were about to score, we managed to barely defend. Same went for the enemy team. There have been moments where we just weren't able to do anything until the overtime started. And as I said before, the matches were starting to get harder, which meant that I actually had to finally start playing the game. Either way, with 32 win streak and help from my viewers, reaching 400 trophies went almost as smoothly as before. The 32 win streak meant that the Edgar win streak that I got with Azrael would go away soon if we kept winning. While pushing towards 500 trophies, on match number 36 something unexpected happens. Even though the enemies didn't even seem like good players, they just kept pushing forward, which forced us to retreat back to our spawn. Not only that, they had 2 long range brawlers and we had just 1. When the game went overtime they actually managed to score, which meant we lost to under leveled Rosa, which I actually found kind of funny. Not only did I lose some trophies, I also lost a win streak, which meant that now I am stuck with Edgar win streak on my profile, which might make people think that I am Edgar main, which I am not. Or wait, I have golden skin for him on my main, does that make me? No, it doesn't. Either way, since the win streak was just a number on my profile, we kept going and soon enough we also managed to hit exactly 500 trophies without losing another time. The last time when I played Larry and Lawrie was when they were really broken. Now I just have to admit how interesting the brawlers really are. Let's talk about star powers. Both of them are really good, which in Brawl Stars is quite rare. For example, if the enemy is using MORTIS, the Protocol Protect would be quite solid option against them, since they just simply won't have enough damage against you, especially with your super running around. And if the enemy, for example, has some tanks, Protocol Assist is quite good since you will just get basically infinite ammo if the super gets close to someone. And believe me, MORTIS players are really good at getting close to the super. The gadgets? Well, usually everyone is just using the auto fallback gadget just because it is way too good compared to the auto swap gadget. The first one heals you and the second one just replaces your main attack with a super weak shotgun. I have never used this gadget, but let me know how strong it really is. Usually as soon as throwers see MORTIS dashing into them, the players would start panicking, but usually that is not the case when you use Larry and Lawrie super correctly. The closest thing I could compare it to would be probably Nita's super, against which MORTIS players can barely do anything. Now combine that with a gadget that lets you swap players with your super, it can either help you counter MORTIS players even easier, or it will just make you lose just like here. While Larry and Lawrie are quite good at countering dumb MORTIS players, they just couldn't counter one thing. For some reason I kept facing off against decent players. Sometimes the enemies were just better since they have more experience from pushing compared to me. For example, these two players both having over 100,000 trophies. What were they doing at 550 trophy matchmaking? Since I was matching up against good players, two players joined, I did not expect to. Oh my god, real Hyra. Okay, we are getting carried this time. First one being definitely the real Hyra that has pushed 200,000 trophies twice. Real Tavi. What are these names? Well, they're more real Tavi compared to me. The only difference between me and him is that the real Tavi did not have brawlers unlocked, which has left me with just one choice: to kick the real Tavi and replace him with viewers. With Hyra and my viewers being pro players, the games got way easier and reaching 600 trophies happened really fast. Usually this would be the moment where I would stop pushing live with viewers, but that day I just felt like going for 700. And unlike the matches under 600 trophies, absolutely nothing interesting happened while pushing towards 700 trophies. Brawl Stars matched us against just your average Brawl Stars players, so winning and reaching 700 trophies just wasn't hard. Since that day I was already pushing for 3 hours, I decided to continue the push later, but with randoms. Tavi, where is the progression? I'm glad you asked. You see, I haven't pushed a lot of trophies since the last recording for about 53 days straight. So instead of interrupting the push and showcasing everything that happened during that time, I decided to make it as a separate video. Also, if you enjoyed even a tiny bit of this video, please consider subscribing to the channel since I'm just 10 subscribers away from reaching 4,000 subscribers. When I will hit the 4,000 subscribers, I will give away 4 Brawl Pass Pluses in the next free-to-play video, but yeah, either way, back to the push. Just 2 days later, on day 180, I tried pushing the Brawlers again. But since the map was just weird and I wasn't feeling like pushing trophies, I decided to stop pushing after just gaining 20 trophies. 9 days later on day 187, I tried pushing to 800 trophies because for once the map was alright. It had a lot of bushes and walls which made Larry and Lawrie quite a solid brawler on that map. The only two problems that I had were of course my randoms and the aggressive brawlers that the enemy team kept picking. As I said, since the map had quite a lot of bushes, they kept sneaking past my randoms and of course doing everything possible just to defeat me. And this, believe me, was pissing me off so badly. I still managed to reach 800 trophies, but the next game after that I of course dropped below it. And since I had to go somewhere that day, I stopped pushing. It might sound crazy, but on day 231, which is 44 days since the last recording, yes, a really long time, I finally had the time to push again. During that time, Hypercharge for Larry and Lawrie got released, and since it just happened that I had enough gems for it, of course I bought it. At this trophy range I could finally see how much better the players were. Not only on my team but also on the enemy team. They were just way more experienced and playing against them was also way more interesting. One thing was still the same. Players were way too aggressive and thanks to that I got to use hypercharges quite often. I wouldn't really say that the hypercharge was a crazy one, I feel like it was just a stat boost button. There has not been any moments where the Larry and Lawrie's hypercharge button would change the matches in a crazy way. To be honest, if I was presented the same offer with Larry and Lawrie's hypercharge again, I would probably not purchase it and just save my gems, because, well, it just barely did anything. With the new hypercharge and for the first time ever without a lot of bad randoms, I managed to reach 900 trophies with Larry and Lawrie. This meant that I was just 100 trophies away from max tier. The matches at 900 trophies was where they actually started being really interesting. Everyone, and I really mean everyone, was fully maxed out. Not only that, I would say maybe 60% of players at this trophy range have pushed to 1000 trophies before, quickly tilting back to 900 trophies. And to be honest, I could definitely see why. The players once again were way too aggressive. As soon as the matches started, there always has been at least one player who kept pushing even though they knew they couldn't do anything. Thankfully you can counter aggressive players just by playing passively. and that was exactly what I did. With just few losses, mainly because of my randoms, I reached 950 trophies without any trouble. After that, with just one loss, I was just one game away from max tier. On the first attempt at 1000 trophies, I matched up against an alien fame player. You would think that it was already a game over, but let me tell you something, the game was pretty close. The reason why we lost was because Mortis and Baby kept feeding El Primo and also Griff. El Primo was breaking the map, and getting your super as a Griff on an open map against close range brawlers is just not hard. I feel like if we were playing a bit more passively, we could have actually won the game, but nope, that was not the case. After that, I lost again and tilted under 980 trophies, which felt horrible. Why do I have more damage than my randoms combined? That is wild. Despite feeling a bit demotivated and feeling frustrated because even though I was trying my best and losing, I still kept going. After a while, I found myself to be just 3 trophies away from max tier. In the second attempt for 1000 trophies, almost everyone has been at 1000 trophies at least once, except for me on my free-to-play account and this Leon, whose name I just won't even try to pronounce. The game started by my randoms pushing forward, feeding the enemies and dying, after which they did a counter push and scored the first goal. But the second round, Surge immediately pushed forward with a hard pin showing how much he likes to feed enemies super. He got hit by a Fang super who then killed me, after which Surge quickly wasted his super and got killed as well. Since the only teammate who was alive was Mortis, he just wasn't able to do anything and I lost again. Sometimes I just ask myself, how did these players even get to these trophy ranges? Just how? Even though I tilted a bit back, I won the next match and I was now just one game away from 1000 again. The next match was just weird, the main reason being everyone played quite well and I don't really have anything to say about that match, other than that I lost again. Usually the third time is the charm, but as soon as the match started I noticed that the rig on my team didn't have hypercharge, gadgets, star powers or even gears. I will just say that it was a loss, but thanks to Rico queuing up with Mortis, I was the underdog and I didn't lose anything. The fourth attempt seemed very promising, because for once I did not have Mortis or Dynamax on my team, and the enemy team didn't have strong brawlers either. When the match started, the Fang was hiding behind a wall, and since I knew that he wouldn't have been able to attack me, I pushed forward and forced Fang and Jessie to retreat to their spawn. Then Colette on my team passed the ball forward, I took my chance and managed to score not even 15 seconds into the game. The second round started similar with Fang hiding behind a wall, me trying to push forward, but this time Rico was actually smart and he was defending. While this was happening, Fang charged his super and killed me. Thankfully, since I did not have bad randoms, they kept the enemies away from a counter push. When I arrived back, we managed to wipe their team and scored the second goal, which finally meant my 14th max tier on the free-to-play account. Finally, after 2 months, my free-to-play got another brawler at 1000 trophies, and the next brawler that will be hopefully at 1000 trophies is B. Well, since I don't really have anything else to say, I will show my favorite comments from the last video, which you can see on the screen. But yeah, I guess Tavi was here today, and see you on the next one. Yeah, bye.